My husband, Daddy Gio, is knocking the secretary. Why me, his wife, Mommy Gio, is knocking secretary husband as well. Welcome to Real Life Story with Okoyemi, an English version of Mewa Shele. This is not my story, it's a story of one of my followers. Let's go there. My husband established his ministry 15 years ago. And when God called him, obviously, everybody around him knows that it was really a calling from God. It was not fabricated. And he left behind everything he was doing. In fact, he was a lecturer at that moment. And he started serving God. He heed to his calling. And to support him as a good wife, I left my job as well. And I started a little business by selling foodstuffs in front of our house. And we started our church services in our sitting room. And from there, God started increasing us. Our members were increasing in numbers. And financially, we are growing little by little. But sometimes in life, when you are called and you are not careful with people around you, you will fall. Because the more you go deeper in the spirit, the more the temptation around you increases. And that was the problem that intruded itself into my marriage and into my husband's ministry. After 3 years of serving God consistently and in sincerity, God answered our prayer. We were able to acquire a land and we started building a church. In fact, we received financial help from different people, locally, internationally. And anything that my husband lays his hands on, God always answers. There is no problem that God has never used him to settle, regardless of how tough it is, regardless of how critical it is. If it is healing, if it is deliverance, and many more, God has been using it. And that is how we continue our life and we continue our ministry. And I was really grateful that my husband heed to God's call as at then. Suddenly, a single mother of two joined our church. You know, we embrace every stranger. And the purpose of a church is to increase in number and to increase in their pockets. When she came, we embraced her. And she as well dedicated her life to God. She attended weekly services, weekend services, Sunday services. She never missed any one of it. And she started calling attention because she was a pretty lady. But because I trusted my husband, I believe he has grown in spirit and he will never permit any distraction to lure him into demonic behavior. That was my mindset. Because the way he has developed himself spiritually, he is not the person that should fall into such sexual temptation. And as time goes on, when we see how dedicated she was, I was the first person to meet her. And as Mommy Gio in the house of God, I was interested in the reason why she became a single mother. Because at that point in time, we have been planning to make her one of the workers. Because she was educated and she was working as a banker. But we really want to know why she separated from her husband. And if it is something we could interfere and settle amicably. Or if it could not be settled and amicably, we can settle it spiritually if it requires prayer and special attention. That was my mindset. Based on my plan, on one Sunday after church service, I called her and I questioned her. Madam Tolulope, I would like to ask, what causes the separation between you and your husband? He said, that man, I should leave him. He's a cheat. He cheats a lot. He's not a sincere person. He lies a lot. He doesn't take care of me and my children. He lavish money on other women. A club, he smoke. I said, okay, we know that this is common in the world. And there is no one God cannot arrest. Can we interfere? Do you love your husband? He said, no, I don't love him. I don't want him. I have moved on. That was the reason why I changed my church and my location. And I love it here. And I know that one day God will answer me. He will give me my own husband. I said, yes. But no one can serve you and serve your children as the real father of your children. And there is no child you will bear today that will be as grown as the one you have given to your husband. But if it does not involve domestic violence, beating today, beating tomorrow, I believe God can arrest your husband and we can settle it amicably. After several days, after several pondering on this situation, she came back to me. And while I was in my room too, praying to God to touch her heart so that God can use her to resolve her marriage. And she agreed, she came to me. She said she is ready. That anything that will cost us to fix her marriage, she is ready. Upon our agreement, we made an arrangement and visited her husband. And the man welcomed us and honored us. They both explained their parts. And my husband, Daddy Gio, settled the issue between them amicably. And that was how God used us to settle their misunderstanding. That was how God used us to settle this family. Not knowing that what is ahead of me is going to destroy my home. To God be the glory. After a week, she moved back to her husband's house. They were both living together and both living in harmony. And her husband started coming to our church as well. Because of that, my husband was able to ordain her as the church secretary. So she was working directly with my husband as a part-time workers in the church. But suddenly, I started noticing some cunning behavior about this secretary. She was becoming too close to my husband. After church service, she would be in my husband's office, spend several hours. And if I question my husband at the GO, he would tell me that, hey, they are doing some analysis, they were doing some calculation, they were working on some projects, they want to go and visit the motherless, they want to handle this project, and she's giving him different ideas on how to run the ministry. I said, is she your wife? I am your wife. Any decision you want to take, any advice you want to take, and any plan you want to make, you should discuss with me. We started this ministry together with nothing. I left my job, my career for you, to help you. Why are you going behind me to run things with the secretary? And secretary has a husband. Our husband is the same church with us. But despite all my ranting, my husband decided to continue this with secretary. At some point, I started praying. I advised him. I said, see, a Yoruba dialect says, "Ọwọ́ tó bá dilẹ̀ ni èṣù ń gbé." It means when you make yourself available for devil, it will penetrate into your life and destroy the good things you have built for several years. But my husband refused to listen. He said he's a man of God. God called him. God is using him. He cannot fall. No one can make him to fall. I said, what? Even Jesus Christ our Lord, he almost fell, if not because of the Holy Spirit in him. Are you Jesus? But he insisted that I should not worry. Nothing will happen to him. I never knew my husband, that the GO, is already having a sexual affair with my secretary, with his church secretary, whose her husband is also coming to our church, whose her husband is also a worker in our church, whose her husband is also a member in our church. Despite all the persuasion, my husband denied. However, rumors has begun to circulate everywhere, and there is no how I can stop this. He keeps denying. One day, we came to church for a workers' night vigil. It was a midweek on Wednesday. After the service, my husband usually remain back in the church while I will go back home to take care of the children because they will go to school on that morning. After we round up with the vigil, I drove home with my kids. But in the middle of the road, I realized that I left my bag behind in my husband's office. And I turned back. I went back to the church. I didn't even knock. I just entered his office. And what I saw made me fainted immediately. I saw our church secretary, Tolu Lokpe, eating my husband's bola, chewing it in his mouth, playing with it like microphone. And I passed out. By the time I opened my eyes, I saw myself at the hospital. When I opened my eyes and I saw myself at the hospital environment, I started crying. I started weeping. I said, God, when did the devil penetrate into our life? When did the devil have his way into my husband's life? For how long have they been doing this without my consent? I wept. And my husband was standing in front of me at the hospital. He was looking at me and he was just using his hand to rub his shirt to calm me down. Is that what we're talking about here? Is that the solution? Once Debe will continue to be Debe and is forever Debe. The next day, I was discharged at the hospital. I went back home. My husband called me. He apologized. He kept on begging. He said it's devil's work. You know, every little thing is devil. The one you do consciously and unconsciously is always going back to devil. He apologized. I said, I'm going to end up this marriage. I threatened to divorce him. He keeps begging. He said, what do you want people to say? What do you want people to say, my wife? We have built this ministry with our sweat. Why do you now want to abandon me? Because I was lured into temptation. My husband began to lie that it was the secretary that tempted him. It wasn't intentional. Okay, the secretary tempted you. I think it's high time to discuss with her husband. If you do not want to involve her husband, tell her to stop coming to your church. He said it's not possible. Church is for everyone. He can't stop her from coming to the church because it's the house of God. It's free for everybody to come in or go out. But he is the one in this case now. He's the one in this issue. He will look for a way to stop what is between them. He will look for a way to avoid her. I said no. In that situation that I saw both of you, that atmosphere of pleasure doesn't seem like something that could be stopped easily. The only way is to stop her from coming to this church. My husband insisted. But truly, what mouth do I want to use to discuss with people or tell the people about the situation I saw my husband and the church secretary? The next day, I visited Tolu in her apartment without my husband's consent. I thought we could have a one-on-one conversation. and beg her to leave my husband, to resist my husband. But throughout my conversation, she was just looking at me. She did not utter a word. When I realized that she is not ready to settle this amicably with me, I warned her immediately to leave my husband. I warned her to stay away from my husband. And I begged her to please not ruin the ministry that I and my husband has built for several years. But despite all my lamenting, she was just looking at me. That day, I left her house sorrowfully and I went back to church. To my surprise, they never stopped. They continued dating each other. They continued sleeping with each other. And it's becoming glaring to the public. It's becoming visible to other church members. She doesn't respect me. She doesn't respect my idea. And sometimes when we are in the meeting, probably with women in the church, and I give a suggestion about something, or we're having a conversation and they need my input, immediately Tolu will counter against it. And I will be wondering that, God, it's not that I don't know what to do. It's not that I don't know how to retaliate, but because I'm trying to protect my husband's image. His shame is my shame. His disgrace is my disgrace. But each time I try to be calm, each time I control my anger, Tolu keeps pushing me. She keeps pushing me, and my husband is not ready to realize that he's doing something wrong by sleeping with our church secretary who has husband in the same church. After several efforts, but to no avail, I said, no problem. You are not the only one that know how to cheat. You are Daddy Gio. I am Mommy Gio. You are cheating by sleeping with the church secretary. I could also do the same thing as well. And I called Tolu's husband. I told him everything with evidence. And I seduced him. And I promised to take care of him. I promised to give him monthly allowance if he could agree to be in a relationship with me. If he could agree to be sleeping with me as well. However, he does not have a good job at hand. And I promised to be paying him 500,000 naira monthly allowance. And he agreed. That day, we had our first sexual intercourse. It was fun. And I know that it can't be hidden forever. One day, Daddy Gio will catch me. Then when they catch me, it will be one-on-one game. Equal one, no cheating. Let me see if it will escalate this time. Then both of us will open our bum to the world. And that is how it started. Daddy Gio is sleeping with the church secretary. I, Mommy Gio, is also sleeping with the secretary's husband. It's balance, no cheating. And we continue. Sincerely speaking, I love it as well. Because ever since my husband have been engaging with the sexual intercourse with the secretary, he doesn't have my time. He hardly touched me. It is war upon war. If he didn't lie today that he's fasting, he will lie that he's having a special program tomorrow, and I know that he's serving the secretary back to back. At some point, I so much love it. I enjoy it, and it started to become an addiction to me. And that is how the whole problem started. So when Daddy Gio is in the church, sleeping with the secretary, I am at home, in my matrimonial home, in fact, on my matrimonial bed, enjoying myself with the secretary husband. But one day, my husband went for a ministration in another vicinity. And I wasn't expecting him that day because he said he would be going for 3 days. And he actually went with the secretary. Secretary husband already know that my husband is sleeping with his wife. And both of us are doing the same thing as well. I don't care. Immediately he told me about it, that he even accused him because I really want him to go so that I can have the whole 3 days to myself, enjoying myself with the secretary's husband, with Tolu's husband. He left. And I invited Tolu's husband to my house. I took my children to my sister's place so that they won't be seeing the mess. The next day, he returned home. And sincerely speaking, I and Tolu's husband had a nice time together that we slept off. We never knew that it was already daybreak. My husband bashed into the room and caught both of us. When he caught both of us, I was on my bed. I didn't even move an inch. And he started engaging in a physical fight with Tolu's husband. As they were fighting, beating each other, eating things on each other's head. I was just on the bed, lying down. I know he dare not touch me. He dare not beat me because I caught him on a several occasions. And I warned him. He refused to listen. And I told him that they are both men, oh, they can be fighting each other. But if he laid that hands on me, I will escalate him. I will escalate him, I will disgrace him. Fine, it's going to affect both of us, but his own reputation will be more destroyed, will be more damaged than mine. He left me on bed that day. And Tolu's husband found an escape route and disappeared. That day, he did not talk to me. That day, he picked some of his clothes and left the house. For good 2 months, my husband was sleeping in the church. He never returned home. If he wants to pick anything, he will send his driver to come and pick it. He has been staying in the church, living in the church, and Tolu is always with him. Now, the reason why I brought this story to English version of Mewanshele is because ever since that issue happened, my husband have not been talking to me. We only do presentation in church. When it's my turn to preach, I will preach. When it's his turn to preach, he will preach. We talk to each other in the church as if nothing happened. But within both of us, we know things are not going well. Ever since this issue started, Tolu's husband stopped coming to our church. And in fact, he packed all his load and left his wife. I don't know what happened between Tolu's husband and his wife. I can't really say. I don't know if my husband has told Tolu how he caught me with her husband. I can't say. But I know the man stopped coming to the church. He stopped picking my call and he left the house. But Tolu never leave my husband till now. I wouldn't mind both of us realizing our mistake and go back to God. Feel remorseful in his presence. Apologize. Confess our sin and reconcile and bring back our peaceful marriage. But my husband is not ready for this. My husband still derive pleasure with sleeping with Tolu. And this time Tolu is not ready to leave my husband. In fact, if she see means of snatching him from me, finally he will do it. If he see a means of taking my husband from me completely, he will do it. That is the reason why I am here. What should I do? I am ready to sober. I am ready to confess my sin. I want my home. I don't want my house to be broken. And I don't want my secretary to snatch my husband from me. That is the reason why I am here for an advice. We can't discuss this with family. I brought this case here because no one knows me. If we take it to family and friend, the issue will start spreading. Before we know it, it will start destroying our reputation and our church will be at stake. I am here for your advice. What should I do? Help me. I'm in a tight corner. So the family of English version of Mewanshele, what do you see to this story? What do you think she can do? Should she escalate to the public? Should she inform the family member in this matter? Or should she escalate to the church member? She said she doesn't mind settling with her husband. She wants her home. They are ready to confess. She wants a ministry. She wants her husband. She doesn't want a stranger to take her husband from her. What advice do you have from her? I and the owner of the story will be in the comment section to hear your opinion. Thank you. And remain your favorite storyteller, Okpayemi, English version of Mewanshele. See you in my next video.